we pray.
In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to XOXO Big Sis. I'm Abigaille Julia, your host, and today I have the amazing Chloe and I have the awesome Zam. Really excited. These girls are North Church girlies, and they have a lot to them, so I can't wait for them to share their testimonies. Yeah, should we just hop right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, who are you guys? Like, how did you come to Christ? And then we'll get into our juicy topic of today.
So yeah, my name's Chloe. I have been brought up in a Christian household, which I'm very blessed for. Went to a Christian school when I was younger. That was part of like the church we went to, and that was just kind of life as we knew it, really. Like, which was really lucky because I wasn't really exposed to some of the things that kids that don't have that upbringing are exposed to. But then when you get exposed to that kind of stuff as you go older, we moved cities, I went to college, I went to uni, I dealt with a little bit of grief that was quite like impactful and powerful, as it is for everyone, and a lot of mental health stuff started to kick in, and that's when sometimes the world is quite tempting and quite easy to fall into, I guess, but God will always bring you back home, and that's what he did and has been doing for the past couple of years, and yeah, praise God for like the deliverance and the power that he's filled me with over the past, like, especially this past 6 months. Yeah, so I think, like, when I came home from uni, like, all of the drinking and stuff that I was kind of involved with and that environment kind of left, which was good. But my problems were still there and I just didn't know why. So I forced myself back into church, like, literally had to drag myself out of bed, like, not wanting to go on a Sunday morning, being like, if you want to change this, like, you have to, like, be disciplined in that. Which then made me start wanting to go. And then, still dealing with like a lot of mental health stuff, still like saying one thing, but having one foot in the world and one foot in like a fake relationship with God, I suppose. And then a lot of mental health issues and had a lot of prayer, and I think sometimes it's easy for you to be able to pray for something but not believe that and not believe it, or not pray with expectancy, so to speak. And then Weekend Away happened in November. Like just a week before my 25th birthday. And after like 13 years of like mental health and suicidal thoughts, I was completely delivered in the name of Jesus. Which was, really good, really powerful. And there were still struggles, like last week, like there was still stuff and the enemy still attacks, and trust me, he comes with fire. But like, it's just different. And that joy that you have, you think you have fun, and then you have joy, and then like there's happiness and then there's joy, and like until you feel that joy, which I hadn't felt for so long, and until you feel like that special kind of love from the Father, like nothing compares to that. And the second I felt that was just like I just could not stop smiling. And and now here we are.
What like made you switch on? Because obviously like you grew up in a Christian household and then went through the uni life and whatever, but like you said the past 6 months you really felt like you were dedicated to your walk with the Lord. So what kind of, from the start of 2025, what was that transition like? You decided, okay, I'm going to be fully committed.
I think fellowship was a really big thing, because when I first joined this church, it's a huge church, obviously, and it was like, it's intimidating because like people still have their friendship groups, and I was like, I didn't really have that like connection. My mum did, but I didn't. And so being in fellowship with people and then like saying one thing whilst I was at church and then going somewhere else on the weekend and doing something else was like, what are you doing? Like, and again, with everything that I had kind of going on, I was just like, these things aren't going to change. And there was like, I got so convicted in so many sermons that like were preached on a Sunday, and he would like, the same message kept on coming up, and I was like, just felt like God was slapping me across the face, and he was like, hello, like wake up, I'm trying to tell you something here. But like just holding myself accountable and like hearing other people talk about what they were doing in their lives and their walks with God and their testimonies, and I would like be a part of that conversation, but like know deep down in my soul that wasn't what I was doing. And like God would be speaking to me and be like, how are you agreeing to this conversation when you're out doing something completely different and when you're saying something completely different? And I was like, okay. So yeah, and then that's why I just think fellowship is so important, and like also like just speaking to people. I can't remember the phrase that I'm thinking of, but like confession, there we go. Like confessing things to God is different, but like confessing things out loud. And when I did the Keys to Freedom course, and it was just a group of women, and I was like admitting to things that I'd never admitted to, I was like, oh my goodness. And it's just like a weight that God lifts off you, and it's like so a cleansing of the soul. So I think like fellowship and freedom,
that's really good. We speak about like fellowship on this podcast often. Each episode, you guys have probably heard this word, be in community. Sam, your story is really interesting because like, girl, you weren't surrounded by a Christian community growing up. So yeah, can you just speak about that?
So I grew up in a Muslim household, and I think I was exposed to like Christ. Like we always had like Jehovah Witnesses like pass by the house, but you always close your door like, no thanks. And then one time I think someone came to the house with a Bible actually, like a kid's Bible, and they just left it there, and we used to go through because we liked the pictures. And then I think it was like Easter time, and someone that we were staying with at the time who had they had like ulterior motives to why they did this, but they decided to send us to church. Bear in mind, at that point I'm a very dedicated Muslim girl, prayed 5 times a day, was reading my Quran, very dedicated. And then I was very favored with my granddad, so the person decided to send us to church, and obviously took evidence of us going to church, sent it to my granddad. He was very upset because obviously he was Muslim. And then so after that I remember thinking, oh, so why would someone use, because when I went to the church, like it was quick Easter time, so they were doing like performances and stuff, and I remember there was a person was acting as Jesus, like when he was obviously like going through the what's called the Jerusalem, like where he was being beaten and stuff, and they were obviously like beating him, like it was probably like acting it out. And I remember thinking, this is crazy, like they were going around the whole church, and it's like, why would someone do that? Like, and that for me, that's kind of what really like opened my heart up a little bit at the time. I didn't know, I was 10 years old. I remember thinking, why would someone do that? I would never, ever. So for someone to beat me, no. And then we saw the performances, got back home, but it kind of stayed with me. And I remember even flipping through that Bible again and like looking at the pictures, and I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. This is a weird thing. So completely left it, moved to England. And then my mom sent us to, we're still Muslim, my mom sent us to church because the area we're living in wasn't a good area, and she wanted us to be busy. So every day we were going to school, and then Saturdays she sent us to church. They was doing like a youth thing at this church. So she would send us there, and then on Sunday we would go to church. So we were busy the whole week because she didn't want us to get involved in things. That was the reason why she sent us there. And then at 15 years old, I gave my life to Christ. But it was mostly all about like a performing for me, like because me and my siblings, we love to dance, we love to sing. We're not good at the singing, but we love to do it. So we're always performing since we're young. So that's what we're doing at this church. And then I think one time, so I turned 15, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll be grown, I should stop going to Sunday school, because at that point Sunday school there was only like literally like almost babies. But I was still there. I'm like, no, I really enjoyed the performing part. And then someone made a comment. I was like, okay, fine, maybe I should start going to a big church. And I was just sat there, and I think he was talking about, again, he was like talking about like Jesus getting crucified and stuff. And he's talking about all this love, and I still didn't understand it, but I was like, okay, well, I mean, I would like that, like, because I felt like at that point that I didn't really feel loved. I think I was going through so much in my high school days. I just didn't feel so. I decided, okay, I gave my life to Christ. And then the next Sunday, these ladies from the church came and gave me a Bible that I still have now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's very ripped up, but it's still there.
So where would you say that you are right now? Like how, I mean, you gave your life to Christ when you were 15. How old are you now?
I'm in my 30s. Again, I will not say which ones. But I'm in my 30s. So I've technically been...
It's a beautiful thing.
over 15 years.
That's
so
amazing.
Beautiful. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I have
that's-
I
been
don't
a
think people
Christian.
realize, like, that is insane.
Yeah, when I turned
amazing.
30, actually, I had like I don't know if it's like an epiphany or something. I remember I was just sat in my room and I was like, oh my god, 15 years I was a Muslim, 15 years I've been a Christian.
It's
This
insane.
is I was literally like this is like almost like a deciding moment
It
for
is.
me.
Oh.
Or whether I'm continuing on this journey with Christ or if I'm going back to Islam. It was a weird turning 30 was a weird year for me. And I think that year in itself I stopped going to church. But it wasn't because I didn't believe. It was, I think, what I was surrounded with that I didn't believe in.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I told you guys about me moving from my old church. There was just so many things that was just going on, and I kind of felt like I was just there because it's a church that I grew up in. But personally, I just wasn't growing, and that the vision I had, like when I thought about the family of Christ, like when I thought about the church, was completely different to what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, which is one of the reasons why I ended up actually at North Church, because when I walked in, I'm like, oh, I turn here and I can see, oh, there's a Chinese person over here. Oh, there's a black person over there. There's a white person over there. It's a whole like different nations. And I'm like, this is a representation of what Christ's body should be. And that's what kept me at North Church. And that's kind of, I think, what revived my faith. And then also like just pursuing God for myself instead of like relying on like going to church and the person's preaching to me like, oh, and I'm taking everything they're saying as if it's Bible. But most of the things that they were preaching I wouldn't even say it was even in the word. So then I decided, I took that time of read the Bible for myself. For a whole year I read the Bible.
Amazing.
And I'm like, I'm just seeing God for myself. And I feel like I'm talking a bit too much. But there's also like a point where I think where I was deciding if I want to stay as a Christian or go back to Islam. And I think what kept me was I had a moment where I failed university. When the first time I went to uni, I failed, and my family did not take it well. And I remember I was sat in the living room and I was so upset because I had no reason to fail, but I was so depressed during my exams that I didn't turn up to them. Like I walk and stand in front of the exam room and I just couldn't go in. And I'll leave and in my head I was like, oh no, I've done the exam. So even when I failed, I was like, I don't know why I failed. I did everything. But then the teacher was like, but you didn't turn up to the exam. I'm like, oh my God, I actually did it. Like I was so spaced out. Anyway, so I had this moment where I was sat there, just got my results. My mom's like, she will never talk to me again. My dad is like so disappointed. And like I was in the room by myself and my sister was like in the kitchen. And then I felt a hand like on my shoulder. And I was like, Alicia was like, who touched me? And I literally called my sister's name. I'm like, did you just touch me? She's like, why would I touch you when I'm in the kitchen? And the kitchen was like so far away. And I sat there and I literally felt it again. And when I tell you, like, it was just kind of pressing me down like this. And then every time I took a breath, I just felt lighter. And I kept going back. I kept going back to that. Like, even though I was questioning so many things about faith, like things I've seen, I just couldn't question that. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I remember talking to a friend. I'm like, can I be a Muslim that believes in the Holy Spirit? And they were like, you sound confused. I'm like, I know it sounds confused. I know. But that's what kept me as a Christian. And that's what keeps keeping me, because I've experienced like God's love throughout my life. And like, I can't explain it. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
I definitely overshared.
No, you didn't. This
great.
is literally so beautiful. That just like warms my heart so much. This word love. We're doing a memory verse for the kids today in kids' church. Guys, if you see this on my hand, it's my tattoo from kids' church. It's literally, I could not tell you what they are. But I don't even, like, there's a heart, and we were reading 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 13, and it was speaking of, can we actually, does anyone have their Bible with them? I want to make sure I say it correctly.
Just want to say, she said, we need our Bibles.
That's true. That's true.
She's like, no Bibles needed.
I didn't think I was good. I thought I would remember it, but my brain, guys, it's allergy season. My brain is foggy. Okay.
1 Corinthians
13:13.
And now abide faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love.
Can you say it again?
And now abide faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love.
That's just The word love just keeps popping up, and that's honestly what we're going to be speaking about today. Is we, as daughters of Christ, we know that we receive love from our Heavenly Father, and it's absolutely amazing. I think it's easy to say something and to know. I think it's sometimes a bit harder to believe it, like that we truly have this eternal love.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult to comprehend because the love is massive. Like, I think about how God works in my own personal life. Like, I actually cannot comprehend how the heck I'm here right now. So when I even think about the topic of worldly love, like, we've all seen it. It's in the media. Like, we've probably experienced it in our, like, I know I've experienced worldly love. So, like, I always thought affection was saved for love, and love comes with being with a partner. It comes with being with a boy. And so in my head, like, that was my picture of love. I never associated God with love when I was younger. Can we just, like, speak about that? What it means to have Christ-like love and to give that out. Christ-like love, how do we give that and how do we receive that as well as believers?
I think that's a hard one for me. Just because I think I do question sometimes, like, if I do have it, or if I'm even capable of giving it. Just because, like, I think when we think about Christ, like, like his ultimate sacrifice, that's how he showed his love for us. Like, so I think sometimes I do question, like, am I capable of doing that? And, like, am I worthy of someone doing that for me? Like, someone who I know of is that Christ did that for me, and I believe that. But, like, I'm like, is there someone who would do that for me? In terms of, like, people here. So I don't know.
That's okay.
I think when I was younger, like a child, it was really easy to just, like, accept Jesus's love and joy and have that childlike faith. And then as I grew older and started to understand the idea of worldly love, I found it a lot easier to give love than to receive it, especially due to, like, just hurt that you go through in the world.
What were you giving? Like, what love is that?
How were you?
Good question. I don't know. In a few ways, like, I think in friendships, I think I found it easy just to give and pour into people, whether that be through, like, gifts or spending money on them or like spending time with them. And I think due to, like, an interesting family upbringing, and with, like, separated parents, I think sometimes it's, like, difficult to understand the reasons why things like that happen, and, like, why, like, there's a broken love in the family can also be quite hard to understand, and where that comes from. But I think as I've gotten older, it's very easy to give love, but when you've had experiences where you've been hurt, accepting that love is harder. So when it came to accepting the love of God, who knew everything that I had done wrong, like, that was, like, next level. I was like, someone can love me when they know every single thing I've done wrong. Like, that's crazy. Like, I wouldn't even love myself for half of these things, and I think that's where love should come from. It's really, like, understanding and accepting the Father's love and loving yourself is so important in order for you to reciprocate that same love to your brothers and sisters. And I think that's a big thing.
It's like John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son for us. When I think of love, I think of sacrifice. And that's something that I never would have thought about growing up. Like, I never would have thought, like, that's what love was. Like, are you kidding? I would think, oh, like, what are your love languages? I would be like, yeah, like, I can do that. I can do that for you. Like, I hope you can do this for me. And not once would sacrifice come into my mind. And now it's like, that's the only word that I can, like, that's how I know how to love people best. Whenever I, like, even in friendships, and we're going to get into the topic of crushes, the word sacrifice comes into my mind because I think as Christians, we should be doing that so well. But it's also one of the hardest things to do. Like, even when I think of fasting, like, that's a sacrifice. You're literally choosing not to indulge in whatever you love for a special bond with the Lord or to hear something. So, yeah, let's just hop right into it, girls. How do you have a crush as a woman of God? I feel like there's no easy way to, like, blend this. There's no easy way to do it. But correct me if I'm wrong, But we get told so many times as women of God, there's a certain way to do this, don't pursue men. And even sometimes it could feel as if it's demonized for us to like even like people. If you like someone and it's like, oh, you love them, you want them, like it's like, calm down.
It goes so fast,
like,
so quickly.
what?
And you're like, I just said their hair looks nice.
It's actually insane. There's no playbook on how to have a crush as a Christian woman. Like, are we allowed to have crushes? Are we allowed to experience feelings? Like, why does it feel like there's so much pressure when we do? So yeah, we're gonna get into that, guys. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah. Who has a crush?
Just silence. Yeah, there's been people that I've been attracted to.
This is so awkward. This is like.
But how do you approach a conversation like this?
Like,
just anything.
There's like no easy way to have this conversation. Okay, I'll start first. I'll air myself out. So 2025. Oh gosh. It's 2026. Okay. I'm gonna cry. Okay, I'll start off by saying this. When I have a crush on someone, I am so not myself.
Yeah.
I am so like, I was just speaking to a friend about this yesterday. I am awkward. Like I feel like I don't consider myself an extrovert. I know when people first look at me, they're like, "You're an extrovert." I don't get energized or like recharged by being in groups of people. I just pour out to groups of people. I get re-energized when I'm by myself, if that makes sense. And so I'm a people person. I think I love like being surrounded by that. And so naturally, like I can have conversations with anyone and like go up to people and just start speaking. But like when it comes to me having a crush, I'm awkward. I am so silent. Like I will act like I don't like them. I will like it's actually a problem. This is something I'm working on. I don't know how to do it. Like I could be speaking I could be speaking to like I don't know like the pastor or like the most handsome person in the room and just like it could be so casual. Like I'll be like, yeah, what's up? Like, but then when it comes to my crush, I'm literally like. Like I can't like I want to be like goofy and I want to be but I also want to be soft. I want to be a soft girl because now there's just too many factors in my mind. Right. If I see the fruits in them, if I see Jesus in them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. Like that's amazing. I'm gonna be thinking about that and I'm like, wait, I don't want them to think that like I'm obsessed with them. Wait, I don't want them to think that I like even like wait, I don't want them to not think I like like literally. So guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, is it okay for us to admit that we can have crushes as women of God?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because, like, otherwise, how are we supposed to, like, be in a relationship with someone?
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's important to be honest about these things.
Yeah, 100%. And
otherwise, you're gonna be sat in your room just daydreaming about.
Yeah, exactly. And just wallowing.
That can even lead to like worse things.
Yeah.
So it's better to talk about them.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's common for us to talk about? I feel like that's the thing. It's not.
I don't think it is.
It's not normalized.
It should be common, yeah, but it's not.
Why is that? Like, why is it not normalized?
I think it's kind of what you were saying before. It like gets like elevated into like a whole new thing, and it's like, oh my goodness, you like someone. Oh my goodness, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this, and like, and it just gets extended, right? And it's like, okay, let's just hold back. Like I just like I don't even know myself yet. So I think there's just too much pressure around it. I think that's the word. Like as soon as you say like something about someone, or like you have a crush on someone, it's like. There's just an overwhelming amount, especially being a Christian.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like rightly so because we're held to a high standard and we should be. Yeah. However, like that pressure can come with guilt, and that pressure can come with like, oh okay, like, and you start getting questioned about things, which can make you question your own faith and where you're at and whether or not that crush should be a thing or not. Yeah. So I think. What's one of the first things that, like, as women of God, we should do when we feel like we have a crush? Pray.
Yes, that's to bring it to God.
Yeah. How, like, what do you guys do when you have crushes?
Not that.
No, I think.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. We're married. There's children. How do we handle these conversations? We get an argument. Oh yeah.
What dress am I wearing? Yeah.
I remember when I was 15, I had a crush. It was my friend's brother. It was a big crush. Yeah. And then I remember that time, after obviously gave my life to Christ, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna marry a pastor. Like my husband's gonna be a pastor. I love that. She was like, I don't want that now. But I'm gonna think, no, he has to be a pastor. And then I remember having a conversation, and he goes, yeah, no, I don't think I want to be a pastor. I'm like, I think you might have to think about that. Because in my head, I'm like, yeah, no, this is it.
Wow.
He had no idea. But I was like, no, I think you might have to think about that. Like, you spread to God about
becoming a pastor.
You're probably called to be a pastor.
Oh,
that's great.
Wow. How about you?
But we're very good
I
friends.
forgot the question. What was the question?
What do you do when you have a crush?
What do I do? People, like friends about it.
Okay, good.
Like, I'd like to think I pray. I'd like to say I pray about it, and I do sometimes. However, I think sometimes it's really hard to understand whether or not you're in a season of waiting or you're just not pursuing. If that makes sense. So, like, I've been single for a very long time, and like, my focus has been on working on my own relationship with God, and looking back when I've like wanted a relationship, and I'm like, it makes so much sense that like God was like, no, you are not ready, because boy, I was not ready. Like, but I think sometimes when I'm in that position where I like have a crush, it's like, okay, am I just not pursuing this person, or am I not is something not developing here because it's not the right time? Does that make sense?
But then doesn't that mean that that's going beyond crush then?
Yeah. What were you saying? You were saying there's a word you used.
I was saying like fancy. Like I think there's like a crush is different. I feel like a crush is like more innocent, almost like playful. Like, oh yeah, I have because it can be like anybody. Like, I have a crush on him, but you know nothing's gonna say. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, do we ever say anything in these situations?
No.
But then that, I think if that kind of develops, and then let's say this person ends up like pursuing you, then that's now like, this is someone I actually fancy myself with.
But can you fancy somebody without them pursuing you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened to me. It didn't end well.
Yeah,
Because I mean, it was just it was like a one-sided, like.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. When it comes to crushes, I feel like recently I've been able to just give it to the Lord in prayer. Like that's what was kind of has been revealed to me, especially in 2025. Like that year specifically, I feel like if I ever like developed an attraction to someone, it felt a lot easier to give that to the Lord. And I noticed when I didn't give it to the Lord and I still like was attracted to a person, I noticed that it wasn't coming from a pure space.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a difference between when you like someone and it draws you closer to God because you're bringing it to the feet of Jesus, versus you like someone and then you're just holding on to these things and like daydreaming and then like planning things. Like you can tell when things are for you and when they're not for you. And so my past crushes and like relationships and stuff like that, like most, like I would say majority of them, probably all of them, like none of them led me to Christ, not once. And I recently like have developed a crush and I'm just like, okay, I'm giving this to Jesus. Like I'm literally giving this to the Lord, and I feel myself getting closer to Christ because of it, if that makes sense. And so I think it's hard. Like we have to trust our spiritual perception on, instead of going to like, obviously go to your mentors and go to your community groups and share things with people that are in high spiritual power, but also understand like you need to be able to rely on your relationship with the Lord. Like if you cannot speak to your heavenly Father about who, like what this like weird butterfly feeling is, if you can't speak to him about this, and like shoddy, you need to be able to do that.
That's what he wants from us.
He
wants us to trust him with the smallest little things.
Oh my goodness.
I had a situation, to be fair, last year, like when I was in that position, I found it so hard at first to bring it to the Lord, and then when I did, it was crazy how quickly He revealed an answer to me. So like God speaks to me through like visions and through dreams, and like I just had a vision and a dream of like the person I had a crush on, and them just saying no. And I woke up I was like, praise God, because I've been praying. I was like,
So wake up.
Pull yourself together.
right, but like, if like God literally has to slap me across the face for me to listen to him sometimes. But I woke up and I was like, great, that's all.
Moving on. God make it that every day, okay?
I was waiting for that answer for so long. I was like, God, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to God about it, but I wasn't. And then when I did, God was like, no, and I was like, oh, great.
I think sometimes you
crazy.
know, like when we don't go to God about some things, we know that He's not gonna
right,
go for it.
right.
So we're like, yeah, we put it off for as long as we can.
Yeah,
That's so real.
it was resolved so quickly when I went to God. I was like, okay, that's me.
I remember I was interested in this person, and they were not like, I don't think I have a type. I don't think I do, but they weren't someone that I would typically like be attracted to. But I think I just saw Jesus in them, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're like the light of the world. So I was like, oh wow, like this, you're pretty cool. And then I was like, Lord, I don't know. I think I prayed about it one night, and then I did have a dream, and I remembered it, and I actually wrote it down. It's on my phone, and I remember specifically this person was getting married to someone else, and I was sitting across from him and his wife. It was insane.
That's crazy.
And you know what? I didn't take that as a sign. I still developed feelings. I was like,
fine. Whatever. This man is still meant for me.
No, like I didn't even think he was meant for me. I think it was more of like that, that attention. Like we both admitted to each other that there was feelings there, and then the Lord revealed to me in a dream that He was going to marry someone else, and I was like, oh, cool.
Anyway,
Have you seen that TikTok of that girl that goes, let me see for myself or something like that?
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna see for myself.
You said no, but are you? Let me just double check.
It was
I'm gonna see for myself.
literally, and it's like we laugh about it now, but like I could have saved myself from heartbreak if I had just been obedient and listened.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord for wisdom and understanding, because what a foolish girl I was. But I mean, it doesn't get easier. Like I think now, because I'm quick to like pray these prayers of like, Lord, if they're not for me, remove them from my life. Like, what do you guys pray? Like what do you say when it's time? Like when you do have a crush, like what is something that you want to say to someone? Or like if you do fancy someone, what is something that you pray to the Lord about?
I think for me, when I had that crush with my friend, because it's my friend now, I remember I prayed about it. I was young and it got so intense because at that point I wasn't really, I don't want to say I didn't really trust God, because I didn't really trust anybody in my life. So I also didn't trust God. So I just didn't take anything to Him. And I remember thinking, like I was overthinking about a lot of things. Like I had all these plans, even though he doesn't even know how I felt at that point. So I think he had gone past being like just a crush. But I remember praying because he was dating someone. I remember his sister introduced me. It's like, oh yeah, this is his girlfriend. I was like, oh dang. And I remember going and I prayed about. I was like, God, I really don't want to have these feelings, because it was starting to get even weird. Like if you walk in the room, like I would literally be sweating from my head to my toes. Like so I'm like so anxious. So I was like, God, I just want to take these feelings away. Like just take them away. Like, and if this person is supposed to be in my life, like let it be in like a different aspect. And they actually went away for like a few years, and then I think we kind of stopped talking for a bit, and then we started talking again, and we're like, oh, we're cool, we're good friends. But then I'm like, oh, I remember I had a crush on him. Then all of a sudden, like these little things came back. And I remember, I think I even told him, was like, oh yeah, by the way, I had a crush on you when we were younger, blah blah blah, and we kind of laughed about it. But but I still at the back of my head, like I was still kind of thinking like, oh, it could be whatever. And then I again, you were saying something about a dream. I had a dream. So we were friends with me and him were friends with someone else. Yeah. And then I had a dream that he was proposing to our other friend. Whoa. And I remember I was on the phone call. When I woke up, I was like, oh, I was so upset. I cried. And then I was on the phone call with both of them, and I was like, yeah, I had it. No, to her. It's like, I had a dream. How dare you? Oh my God. She was laughing because she was like, I knew she would never be with him, because to her that's like my brother or whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, but good relationships start with friendship. But at least she was like, yeah. he was proposing to you and she wasn't saying yes, but I was encouraging her to say yeah in the dream. Wow. I was like, yeah, I was upset. I was like, oh yeah, no, but it's okay. Like, don't let this opportunity pass you by. He's a great guy. I'm like, say yes. And then I realized I had to go to uni, and I woke up running to go to uni. Wow. So I didn't even hear her answer. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't hear your answer, but I'm sure you said yes because I'm a good friend. I was encouraging you. Wow. I was so upset to her. And she was like, why are you like this? I'm like, anyway, it's done now. And when I was on the phone with him, the three of us, I'm like, yeah, I had a dream that you proposed to her. So, and he was like, that will not be happening. But okay. Wow. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's done. So in my head, I was like, yeah, that's done. I mean, yeah, I think God answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we were really good friends now. So.
When you guys develop feelings, do you just hold them in and like not say anything, or do you make the first move?
Hold them in.
Yeah, I think every girl wants a guy to pursue them, right? Like, I think we've been hi.
We are every girl.
We are every girl. I think like we're also brought up with that. In like worldly culture. Yeah. That like.
Not just world, even biblical.
Yeah, to be fair, both. Yeah, like that, like the guy should make the first move, and like it feels nice, like it's romantic, and like like I think it's okay to want that, but like I think what I struggle with is like sometimes we say that like guys need like a hint or two, right? Because like and guys say that as well, like they will openly like. We've had at Weekend Away last year, there was a whole conversation, like a whole panel about like love and relationships, and like guys need like a little nudge as to like, hi, like do this. But I think it's just, I don't know, like I don't say anything. I will like sit from afar and be like, please ask me for coffee, or like could you please just come ask me for coffffee, and like let's just sort this thing out.
If I look at you, if I make eye contact with you,
that's communication.
If you walk across the room and you make eyes with me, and I see
you come talk to me.
To be fair, you see what like.
Well, letting you know now. Okay.
If I do that, like, and if I'm like making eye contact with them and they look at me, I'm like. No, I wasn't looking at you. No. I'll just go bright red. I'm like, hi, I wasn't looking at you. I promise. And yeah, I'm just so awkward.
There's like a thing.
We don't pursue, but we do make it known that we're interested. Yeah. And so maybe that is like having conversations, going out of your way to acknowledge them. I'm saying all of these things. I don't even do them myself. Like I need to start like being better at this. But like, yeah, I think especially growing up, like. I used to have so many crushes when I was in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, this week this guy is so cute. And like the next week this other guy is so cute. And so like I would literally be like, okay, I'm like tucking my hair behind my ear and like look. And then like if he looks at me, I'll look back. And like he's gonna ask me out. I never got asked out in high school. That never worked. Literally nothing happened romantically until college.
They lead to a lot of disappointment, don't they?
They do because we're doing these things to our minds. Like women, it's okay for us to be proactive. Like we can definitely like not just sit here and be pretty. Like we can also, I don't know, like invite them to pursue you. That phrase keeps popping up. Like how can we as godly women invite men to pursue us without being like too much, if that makes sense. How do we do that?
I think one thing that was mentioned in that seminar at Weekend Away was like having pursuit in an open setting,
like a friend group setting,
right? 100%, because it also like allows other people to judge their character, and like we've spoken about this recently, and like allowing your friendships and like your friends to kind of like have an impact on that setting and who you're like trying to pursue. And like you can have a personal conversation in the group setting, but it gives you I think that would be something. And like inviting a group of people and to spend time with a group of people, but it also allows you to have a connection with that one person that you might be looking to
I think like
form a relationship
even recently, like I remember we were speaking and I was like, if there's this guy, like then you should invite him to like this thing we're doing. Like why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not invite him?
Yeah.
Hopefully this is out after the fact.
Hopefully, maybe there's like, yeah, who knows? Anyway.
It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the first step. Because then it's like, it's not, like, if there's like, we had a Sikh night, so it was like worship and prayer. I think like that, even that event, like if you would have been like, hey, like I'm gonna go to this event, like, you should like, do you want to like go together? Like, oh, well, I see you there. Like, just, I think simple things like that. Just letting them know, like, you're thinking about like them specifically. I think that's fair. Yeah. But another thing we don't speak about is the rejection.
Right.
Men face a lot of rejection. And so we know that, like, I'm not gonna say they have it harder, but like, okay, fine, they can take that one. Like,
they're
they have
almost
it
more. I personally would say I think they're more equipped to handle it.
She thinks they're more equipped to handle rejection.
What do you mean? Can you explain that? Like,
I had a conversation with some like my male friends, and they were talking about like how they can be, let's say they're out somewhere, they can be like to this girl, oh, I'm interested in you, like, and the girl says no, like, okay, cool, moving on to next, and they just move on to next, like they just take it under the chin until they get that one person that gives me a chance.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like it's hard for women to receive that. Like if I go on my way to be like to come to you, like, oh, hi,
and
I have a girlfriend.
That's another thing.
I have a wife.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That one is fine.
Yeah.
But the ones that
I prefer
you know the person,
then no.
actually single, but they're like, I'm like, oh God, I'll never do that again.
I also think on that note, like, as a Christian, like, Christian relationships develop early and they develop fast. I think so anyway. Maybe not like early, but like you see a lot of like young married Christian couples who are settled and in their like are ready for a house and kids and blah blah blah, which I love. However, when you're on the other side of that and you're like waiting or pursuing, like, I feel like sometimes when you get older, you're like, okay, well, like what am I looking for? Who am I supposed to be looking for? Because especially if you want to follow the plans God has for your life, and if that, like, whatever type of ministry that involves, and like you're ready to start that, or you feel as though you're ready to start that, but you need somebody by your side to do that, especially somebody to lead you into that. That can be really hard the older you get, to kind of be like, okay, well, if they're already in their ministry and I am already in mine, or I'm ready to start mine and they're ready to start theirs, like, how do those two things collide, and when? Because like I'm ready to start this now.
Yeah, that's so good. What do you guys have to say about this topic of crushes? Like, anything else you want to share?
I think I'll say so I was dating someone, and I had believe it or not. Oh, before I get to that, actually, I wanted to say, when you were sharing something, I was like, I remembered yesterday when I was sat down on my phone, and Abigail comes and says, this is why you're not married.
Right. No, right.
Give them context. We were at an event yesterday. We were literally at an event yesterday, guys. This woman, she looks so good. I'm going to put a picture so you guys can see. She looks so good. In this yellow dress, sitting there on her phone. Tell me why this girl's on her phone.
I had just got my phone. I wasn't even on my phone.
She was just on Instagram scrolling.
Right.
On Instagram scrolling.
And she was standing right there. She goes, this is why you're single. And then she walked away. And I literally picked up my phone. I said, you're right.
Yes.
I was like, you are right. And I know it.
Yeah.
But it's hard, I think. So anyway, so this person, I was praying to God about, before even I said yes, because I think he asked me out, and I was like praying to God, no, yes, for my number, and I prayed to God. I'm like, God, should I give him my number? Because he kind of made him like his intention known, like, So I was like, and then obviously God just was silent about this one.
Wow.
Like, and I think this 2025 was like my year of just going to God about everything. Like, before anything happens, like, if I don't hear from him, like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So he wasn't saying anything. I'm like, oh well, I mean, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see for myself. No, so then I went. Bear in mind, he was so, like, in everything else, like, if I was asking him anything, he was like literally like I could hear his voice, like, and he didn't say nothing. So I go on the date. It was a good date. Then I come home, and then the person asked me to asked me to be their girlfriend on that first day, and I was thinking, no, I've been there, done that. Don't do that again. So I'm like, maybe ask me another time, like because we still getting to know each other. I'll come home and I'm praying to God about it. I'm like, okay, well, if he asks me tomorrow, then God, you need to give me an answer now. Nothing. The whole time, nothing. So then this person's like, they had something to tell me, but they won't tell me when they got to know me, when I got to know them. It'd be better or whatever, something like that. So that's weird. Took that to God. Nothing. Then I made a decision. I think we're supposed to go somewhere, and I made a decision to just go with him. But I didn't take that to God. And I remember I was doing my I hadn't gone yet. Like I think we're going in like the next few days coming up. And I was praying and I'm like, oh God, I'm doing my Bible reading early in the morning. I'm reading my Bible, reflecting, doing my journaling, and then I'm praying. I'm like, God, you still haven't said anything about this. And then he said something. He said, you made a decision without consulting me first. And I was like, huh? And the only decision at that point that I could say like was me saying yes to go into this place.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, so you're saying I shouldn't go? Bear in mind, tickets were booked. Like, everything was set. I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to tell him? Like,
where are you going?
Just Wales.
Wales.
Yeah. But we're not going to be staying like just together or like we're nothing like that. But yeah, it was just a trip.
Yeah. And
then but he was like, he literally, that's all he said. And I was like, okay, can you clarify like more which decision? Nothing. But that's afterwards, that's the one that came to me. I was like, okay, I guess I think it means I shouldn't be going. But obviously this person is also a Christian, so I called him and said, hey, by the way, I was praying and this is what God said. It's like, oh, okay, sounds like God doesn't want you to come. And I think, like I always say, like God is he's got a crazy sense of humor,
right?
Yeah, but he truly was. I think he was looking out for me, and he knew that whatever this person had to tell me, I wouldn't receive it well. Let alone receive it when I'm away from home, in an area like that he knows. Like, so when he then told me, I was like, oh, because he said something. He's like, oh, maybe does that mean that God knows that you're not gonna take what I need to tell you? Because I was like, oh, that means this is not going to be good. Because if you're thinking that God thinks that I'm not going to take it well, then I'm definitely not going to take it well. And I prayed about it, and literally that was it. I felt, the moment I told him, and he was like, okay, I guess you can't come. And I felt so much peace over it. And even after he told me, I feel like I'm definitely oversharing. But even after he told me, like, what is it you tell me, I ended up having to kind of end that whole, because at that point he had already asked me to be his girlfriend, and he was still new, so after that I still had to pray about it. Like God was really just telling me, like, there's some things that I've not called you to carry. And I was like, okay, but I felt like, when you just feel like I'm being like a bad person, like but I'm like, but God he was very clear, like I did not, there's some things that I did not call you to carry. And I was like, okay, I guess this is one of those things, because this is the only situation right now that's happening. So I guess you're really saying, I'm like, can you not be more clearer? Can you not be like, this is the situation I'm talking about? But I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to like put a stop to it. I still waited the whole week. I was still praying about it. Like, I'm like, God, I just need more clarity. And then when I ended it, like, bless him, like he just, I don't know why he didn't understand, to be honest, because he should have. But anyway, he just was very confused. Like, he's obviously still, even now he's still trying to keep it going. But I'm like, but I didn't make that decision. Like, God made that decision. And I felt, when I tell you, I felt so much peace over it.
Amen.
Like, I was talking to him, and he's obviously expressing, he's a bit hurt. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. But like, if I go against God, like, who am I? Like, I don't know what's gonna come in the future. So I think sometimes it's easy to say, like, run to God about certain things, but sometimes it is hard to do. But if you do it, it'll be better for you.
Definitely. That's amazing.
Amen. Thank you.
So we'll overshare just to say that. Anyway.
No, that's so good. I'm gonna take that for myself. Super. Do you have anything you want to say?
I don't know. I think I think a lot of it is just trusting God.
Trust God, bro.
And that's so hard.
It is hard.
That's so hard. I think, like, especially when it comes to relationships and love and desires of the heart, it's so easy to, like, I don't know, just, like, have your plans and be like, it's so easy because you're like, yeah, like God,
you control your
and I think, like, we're so blessed that, like, God has given us choice, like, and we should be so grateful for that. Like, God isn't just like, this is the only person you are allowed to have feelings for, or the only person, blah blah blah, and He gives us that choice, which can be dangerous, of course, but also, like, it is a blessing. But I think just trust Him and just pray. I think the big thing is just praying to Him about the fear of it and about to give you, like, boldness and confidence. I think from my experience and from, like, what I'm going through currently and, like, my walk with God and, like, and all that kind of stuff, but I think just having that boldness and, like, that open line of communication with Him, because also, like, sometimes I think we forget to, like, just talk to God as, like, we would our normal dad or, like, a friend or something like that. And, like, it's okay to just say, I've done it so many times where I've been, like, on my walk home and I've just been, like, out loud, been like, God, there's this boy and I like him and I don't know what to do. But, like, He already knows this and He knows how you feel and He knows what we're going to do.
He's
and
waiting for you to bring it to Him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think so that's one thing. And then just, like, again, fellowship, as mentioned before, is really important. But I also think just a boldness in our approach of, like, being a woman and, like, as you were talking about rejection before, like, guys get rejected so many times and they're probably open to it from, like, having that, but also not being scared to just be that one, not to necessarily to, like, initiate everything, but, like, to have that boldness to just to put yourself in those situations where, like, the person that you might be interested in or the person you feel led towards is in that place, and, like, not being scared to kind of just open up that conversation on a Sunday at church or, like, in a social setting and, like, shying away from it or sitting on your phone at an event. But, like, I do the same. Like,
No,
this is,
no,
I'm preaching to myself here, like, right, like,
She was also on her phone, by the way.
but however, but I have other reasons for that.
Well, you're on your phone. Okay.
I have other reasons. Anyway, we won't talk about that. But yeah, I just think having that boldness and that courage and, like, that confidence as well. Like, we are daughters of Christ. Like, we are beautiful. We are made in the image of God.
Yes, we are.
Like, the plans that He has for us, as it says in, like, Jeremiah, like, to prosper, and that's not just within our, like, provision of, like, our jobs or our career or our money, but that's in our relationships and that's in our, like, our love lives and, like, the plans He has for our future families and our children. And, like, I think being bold in that and being courageous when we're, like, approaching people and, like, having that conversation with people that we're interested in should shine through us, because like just like we want a man of God that's going to be, like, leaders and, like, can set an example for us, like, they're also probably looking for the same. It says in Proverbs 31 it says in Proverbs 31 that we should, like, be women that fear the Lord, and, like, in that,
a
like,
woman who fears the Lord is to be praised,
right? And, like, if we're, like, in these social situations, and this is me talking to girl, I'm having, like, a revelation right now. But, like, if we're in a situation where we're, like, talking to somebody that we're interested in and we have a crush on, and we're, like, that fear of the Lord isn't shining through, and that confidence and that boldness isn't shining through, like, that's not going to be reciprocated for, like, what they're looking for in us. And I think it's so easy to be like, oh, we want this kind of man and we want this and we want this, but, like, what do they want from us? And when we're in that situation and when we're approaching them, like, like, are we showing that confidence? Are we showing that boldness? Are we showing that, like, self-love?
Yeah, what we're praying for, like, the men that we're praying for, like, we have obviously the characters that we want them to have. Of course. But, like, are you the woman deserving of that man? Yeah, someone said that to me before, like, are you a woman deserving of that man? And then I think I kind of changed my prayer point to be like, I'm still praying for my husband, but I'm praying that I become the wife.
Yeah, definitely.
I think one of the themes that's kind of been coming up as much as love, like, also trusting God. Yeah. And, like, one of the girls, so we're youth leaders, and one of the girls in youth, like, I think maybe she's about, like, year 7, year 8, she said something, because we were talking about trust, I think not last week, the week before.
Yeah.
And she was like, because I was like, how would you know that you trust God? She goes, I guess I think, like if I make new friends, like I don't know if I trust them, but like the more they become my friend, the more I get to know them more. I was watching her like, then I started to trust them. So I think that's just how it is with God as well. So the more I keep reading my Bible and get to know Him, the more I learn to trust Him. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I walked away. I'm like, yeah, she taught me something there.
Yeah.
So good. Literally, like,
guys, get involved in your church. Like, serve. We serve with youth. They know.
I love
like, the Lord
yeah.
loves His children so much. He loves the youth so much. He loves His baby girls. Like, serve in your church, y'all. It's so good. I feel like we've. I don't know how.
We're on like an hour.
Oh wow, yeah. So we're gonna have to do part 2 because this is insane.
Definitely.
This was so good. But yeah, guys, we just hope that you take away, be in community, confess, trust the Lord, and pray those scary prayers. Like, Lord, I'm feeling this way towards this person. I'm putting this in your hands. And if you're one of those people that is like, I can't really do the whole, constantly like, oh, is it them? Oh, it's not. Is it them? Isn't. I would challenge you to pray this prayer, but beware, your DMs will be dry. You won't have anyone like. I'm speaking from experience.
Beware for the rejection.
Beware. It's the prayer.
Yeah.
Pray this prayer, y'all, that the Lord.
I feel like this has been good.
This was good.
We'll have
This
to
was
do part
good.
2.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you guys
There's
for
more.
watching. We'll have to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, this was so. I hope it's recording.